I thought I'd just put this video up just to kind of show you what I'm doing here while I'm waiting on parts. So I called the chrome plater and he said another 2 to 3 weeks on everything. That was a lot of little stuff that takes a lot of time. That's why it's costing a chunk of money. And then the padded dash, I talked to Eckler's. You can see I covered it up so I don't get stuff on it. But they said maybe mid to end of next week it might get sent out, so I'll probably see it in about 2 weeks. And in the meantime, I've been working on hubcaps and stuff. I mean, there's things I can do to the car. So remember this one was dented and it flew off the car once. And I think I'm going to start looking into getting tires while I'm waiting too. I might look at tires, see if I can get the right size and white walls. Then I can bead blast the wheels and paint them. But I've been working on hubcaps. This is the one that was always flying, that flew off the car the once. And it had these dents in it. And I think that's because it previously flown off the car. They were in it when I got the car. And, a lot of these are beat up. I got all new inserts. But I picked up a set of hubcaps that are painted like this in here. And I sanded the paint off and started buffing it. And then there was just like as if it was a different, I don't know, it was like there's something on there. So I went back and I sanded it out with 320, went to 400, 600, 800, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000. And buffed it, and I had all these thousands of little spots in the metal. It just looked really bad. So I sanded it out again, same thing. So then I really went out and got some 150 and started with 150. And I spent a whole day on this hubcap, absolutely 100% of a day, and it's not even finished. So I don't know, these are non-magnetic, so I assume there was stainless, but there was a big gash in it that I straightened out. I don't even know what it was now. I can't even see where that big gash was now. So I guess I was going to show you where I was buffing it, where that big gash was. It was almost like it was two different materials, but let's see, there's the ding. So that's where I was bumping. Let's see, was that, there's three there. That was the main dent I was bumping out right there. Okay, now you can just see how that's really ultra shiny and then dull on each side. And I don't know why that is like that. It's really shiny where I filed and sanded, and not as shiny elsewhere here. So I might have to, I'm not going to sand every cover down on the car. I'm not going to spend a day on each hubcap. The rest of the hubcaps are pretty good. They might have one or two little dings that I got to knock out. But anyway, to get back to, I was buffing this with my little laundry tub pump with a wheel and the rouge I have, which I was almost out of, and I thought, well, I got to go to the store and get some more of that buffing compound. And I was going to change the wheel on my buffer so I could go to town on this, and I ended up, just why I went to get it, I just went to Harbor Freight and bought a new buffer. And I bought some extra, a rigid wheel and a soft fluffy wheel. See how this wheel's that will give you a real fine polishing, and see how this one's more rigid. That one will do a lot of cutting. And I got some different polishes. So this green is, they're sticks that you rub on the wheel when it's running. Anyway, this one here is for high polish finish on copper, brass, stainless steel, and steel. And this is the one I usually use. And this is a fast cutting compound used in the same materials, stainless steel, copper, aluminum, so on and so forth. But this one I bought because this one will do plastics. And sometimes I want to polish up some messed up plastics, so I got this one too. But like I say, these are just a stick. And you just peel the paper back a little as you want, and you just kind of, you know, you've seen me do it with the other buffer. But anyway, I'm going to try, and while I'm waiting, you know, next 2 weeks of not a lot to do, I'm going to work on the hubcaps. And I videoed a lot of the work on this hubcap with my old GoPro. This is my old one, my old trusty one. I've had this, my dad bought that for me for Christmas like 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. And it's been an excellent camera. But lately, so this tells you what it's counting, and that tells you what's left on the card. That means there's an hour and 36 minutes left on the card. But when I push this button, that will start counting. See, it's showing it's recording, but it's not. There, now it is. And watch that number jump. See? So really, I didn't get any video working on the hubcaps because the camera wasn't working. So sorry about that. And the camera I'm using now, which is my GoPro 8, this one, doesn't turn off. Sometimes I gotta take the battery out to turn it off. Hello everyone. So yeah, so anyway, I'm gonna get to, I'll try and make some videos of buffing the hubcaps out. I do have another camera like that was my dad's, so it's like hardly ever used, so I might bring it out here and use it. That's a Hero 3 Plus, and like I say, it's been no complaints with that camera whatsoever. And my 8 here that I'm using, it's been working okay for a while, but I think if you're going to use them in a dirty area, put them in a case so you don't get dust in the controls or anything. But I'm going to try and do a little buffing. I'm going to try and use this camera to record it. We'll see if it works. If it does, you'll see some buffing. If it doesn't, you won't. So I changed the memory card in that camera because I made a whole video and there was only 7 seconds there. So I changed the memory card to see, and I'm looking at the camera and it's still recording. But anyway, I used the gray on the aggressive wheel. So this wheel, you can see it's a tighter wheel, and the gray, this is what I've always used most of the time when I've done buffing. And this is a finer wheel, and I'll use the green, which is for a high polished finish. And this is the one I've been using on this hubcap. And this dent, you can see how much shinier it is where that dent was, probably because I did a lot of sanding there. But the only way I could find it was to find the peck marks right there in the wheel cover from knocking that dent out. And but it buffs up nice. I was, except you didn't get to see it because the camera stopped recording. So I'm going to do a little more. And so you don't need a lot of this stuff on the wheel. That's probably enough. And then a little goes a long ways. And then you just kind of let me buff something to where you can see. You don't need to put a lot of pressure on it. And that polishes up really nice. Now once the polishing compound's off there, that'll really shine. And I'll probably, this is like I say, the gray, which is more of a rough cut on the rough cut wheel. My other buffer, I had one wheel and it was basically this wheel. I never had a wheel like this. So this is new to me, using this wheel, and I kind of like it because like all the sanding scratches that were still visible are no longer visible. So I can go around and buff the finish up nice and pretty with the coarse, and I'll go over it with the fine. But I was buffing this right here, and that's just the coarse, and that shines just like the bumper. I mean, you know, I got to buff around the edges here still. I just was buffing in here, and I didn't spend a lot of time on that. Just kind of And that just, like I say, you know, it's still got the buffing stuff on there, but the rouge. But that is going to shine. It's going to gleam when I'm done. By the time I put the final buff on and a coat of wax. So this will probably take me, spend about an hour to an hour and a half buffing each hubcap. This one I got a whole day into it because I had to take off that painted finish that was on here, and I don't know if they primed it with something that etched into this stainless or what, but it looked like little bubbles all over it, thousands of them, after I sanded it until it looked flat. And then I went from, I started out originally, I did 320, 400, 800, 1000, 1500, and 2000. And then I had all these little, just like pencil-sized dots, just millions of them everywhere where I buffed. And I didn't know if it was something from where that primer had bit in. But anyway, I sanded it out a second time, and I started out with 320 and worked my way back to 2000 and had less of it, but it was still there. So getting frustrated, I took 150. And I really gave it a good, I almost got my DA out, but I just ended up doing it by hand. And I 150'd everything that was painted. I didn't sand any of this. This is still the original, other than where I bumped those dents out. This is still untouched from, you know, Ford. But this I sanded out because I had to sand that silver paint off, or gray paint, or whatever it is. But then I went over it with 150, like I say, really aggressively, really sanded it down. And then I switched to 320, 400, and so on back to 2000. And now it's coming out pretty darn nice, I think. I mean, once that gets a fine buff on it, it's going to look fine. Then I'll do what I have to, you know, like I got that edging tape, so I can tape off all these edges if I need to repaint the black. I think that black will buff up, and if it doesn't, I'll repaint it. And then these, to save taping them off, I'll just spray them, then just take a cloth that's fairly dry with lacquer thinner and just kind of wipe those ribs. But it's going to look nice once this is all buffed up in those new inserts. Man, is it going to look good. That's one of the new inserts, and when these are in here, I'm going to have to figure out which way they fit in one way only, believe it or not. And I got to kind of look at it. I think that's the way it fits in right there. Yeah, but those tabs need to be bent some more, but yeah, that's going to look totally amazing once they're all done. I can't wait. Yeah, why would you want to put custom wheels on when you got these cool retro hubcaps? These things are so neat. You know, you see these cars all the time with people put wheels on them, and, you know, incorrect wheels, I should say, you know, custom wheels. That's why I'm going with the standard wheels and hubcaps, because too many people put custom wheels on. You don't see a lot of cars with their original hubcaps and stuff anymore, so that's, and I like these. These are kind of retro looking. There's the part number to that tag if you're interested. It says Dennis Carpenter is the maker of this, and it's C6AZ-1141-A, hubcap center emblem red plastic. So if you're interested, you want to do yours, they're available. And I think they even make the ones they're like in this hubcap, that one too. And that, you can see the silver paint. I got two hubcaps, and I thought, well, save me bumping out that really damaged one. This one's got a dent here. Got a couple minor dents there, but I'm probably just going to leave this one, as much work as it was to get that off, to buff it up and make it look nice. I just don't think I'm going to put the effort into that. Wheel cover, and yeah, that's the way they fit. So when the valve core is up, those are like that, because when they'd put these in car shows, they always put the valve core stem up, and they always want this like that, so that's why I'm going to do it. And but I think this is the hubcap. I think I showed this, that I don't know if I showed it or not, that flew off, and I think it's previously flown off. I'm going to repair this, buff it all out, and then I'll have an extra hubcap, or maybe this will be the one I put on the car, who knows. But I'm going to have 5 hubcaps, so I have an extra, you know, 5 finished polished hubcaps, so I have an extra one in case if I do lose one. I'm wondering if that's all the deal was with this camera, was a memory card. I put another memory card in it. It absolutely works perfect now. I was trying to record there and I got 7 seconds of video and it stopped. And I did a whole video of no video. So I changed the memory card and tried it again and it worked. And I've tried it several more times and it's worked. And I think that was the issue. I mean, memory cards only last so long. That I have learned. Yeah, you can only reuse them so many times and then they just don't work anymore. So that took care of that. Yeah, I think I'm going to wear my face shield when I use that. And I might use the plastic polish on the lens and see if it takes on, you know, I mean, nothing wrong. It just needs to be cleaned. I can pop the lens out of there and maybe see if that buffs. And I'll probably wear a dust mask too, you know, because this stuff tends to, you know, go, it makes a mess. That's why I probably will do these, get all rugged up and set it out on just outside the door there and go to town. And yeah, maybe a little cold, but I'll get over it. I'll do it on days that it's not below freezing, you know, it's in the mid 30s anyway. We're going to turn into February tomorrow. It's just hard to believe January is done, and I'm still waiting on stuff for the Galaxie. I was hoping that, you know, that and the dash, and I'd be working on the interior kit. Who knows when that'll be here. You know, I'm getting the COVID excuses from them. Well, I'm sure they have had some people off, but you know how interiors are. It always, the Catalina took, what, 9 months to get the upholstery for it. So who knows. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this video up. I just wanted to kind of put a video up just to give you a quickie of what I've been doing while I'm waiting on everything. And that's it. So if you like the video, hit the like button. If you want to subscribe, see everything done up, hit that 348 engine icon that pops up there. And thank you for watching my videos.